Guys, welcome again. Let's continue with the next part. We are in this training of RHCSA version 8 with Python 3. And the most important thing is we are doing the integration of these two different platform, or you can say the technologies. And finally, our intention is to build some real projects out of the things that we are learning, right? So in the last 2 days or last two sessions actually I have already started the project building, right? But understand one more thing. For creating the project, you shouldn't require the complete knowledge, right? As much as you know, you can start building, but as you keep on moving, you keep on learning. In the same time, projects also keep on enhancing, right? So technically Python is not yet complete. Um, plus Red Hat training is not yet complete. Every day we keep on learning new things, and we will enhancing our project, right? That's my plan would be. So by the end of our training, you will have your project completed from my side. But time to time I am giving you lots of tasks that you have to do along with this project. So finally I want everybody complete their project at the day end of when my training will complete, right? So this is one thing. So before I start today's topic, because today's topic is again very important, because I would like to tell you some more thing about the project to enhance the feature of our projects, right? So today I have one more announcement for you guys. The announcement is because of this particular close, right? Because everything has been closing across the world, and if you talk about India also, right? So what as IIEC, what we have planned. So the lecture guys, that we started already RHCSA and the Python. So we stopped already. All right, we had it stopped to taking the new registration, and plus we also thought, right, to don't provide a certificate those guys who miss the attendance. We, because every lectures whatever we are providing, we had given you a deadline to complete the lecture before that particular deadline and mark your attendance, right? So but now what we are thinking, because of this outbreak and everything is been closed. So most of the state and the city, it is closed till 31st March, right? So I thought, because you guys, maybe your friends, maybe your colleagues, and all the guys might don't have so much thing to do from their home wherever they are, right? So we thought, let's open this program for everybody till 31st March, right? So now those guys who would like to register right now, so we have again start the registration form. I will give the link again, we put in the channel also. They can register this program again, right? These information for the new registration, right? So that at least they are utilizing their time rather than investing or wasting the time by listening the news. Because as much as you listen the news, you will update, but keep on listening the news for full day, right? It is give a negativity in our mind, that is a negative energy. I don't want anybody get the negative energy, right? Plus just keep on watching here and there, it won't help you, because we will come to the solution soon, that's for sure. But after effect is very important, right? So it's very critical for the economy, and it is very critical for your career also, right? And for the career, right, it is very important, because due to this condition, I don't know, we don't know what would be the economic situation afterward, and we don't know what would the job situation afterward, right? You should have to prepare right now for your career and for your job, right? And for this you have to start learning these kind of technology. You have to start researching, right? Those guys who know more, they will save their career, right? There's a fact for every time, but but this time is very critical. So I would like to recommend everybody start learning technologies. From the IIEC, we have opened the registration for these two program again. We will share the link of the channel or link of this playlist, so everybody can start learning from there. As soon as they go to first lecture, they can mark the attendance. Second lecture, they mark the attendance. We will start putting those guys again in the group wherever you guys have created, right? And they'll also start working on the project. And if you by chance if you miss any lecture due to any reason, it is again open for you also, right? You go to that lecture, read the lecture, and mark your attendance, right? So this is one step we have taken. So at the time of this program created, at least they have these much knowledge, plus they have projects with them, plus they also have certificate with them. So it will somehow help in their career, in their job, or for future also. So that is one small concern we thought to do. So it's open. We'll share the link again. And now it would be all of your responsibility to take as a volunteer basis, right? Those guys who miss, ask them to again attend. Those guys who doesn't know about that, right, but you know how what level of content you are getting, ask them, go and learn something from here, right? Because it is not like only RSS and Python we are doing. Lots of things I have planned when we have done, right? For example, Docker we have done, and next week we are coming with the one very advanced workshop on AI we are doing. So lots of things we are doing. So if you do all the activities under the IIC, you would be highly ready for for your career and for your job also, right? So this engagement I want you guys do, and also start recommending, asking everybody also they do, right? So that is one announcement for everybody. So let's start with today's lecture. So in the today lecture, again I would like to enhance some feature in our project, right? So that's what we are doing. And for this today I require two VM. So this is one VM I have, and second VM. And if you have a team, I recommend don't use two VM, use two laptops, connect with your hotspot, right? And in one laptop, um, run your Python code, and second laptop will use for different purpose, right? So I think this connectivity we already discussed initially in our networking classes, right? So I highly suggest, if you do in the team, you learn more, you feel more these things, right? But technically command will be same. If you do in the same laptop, again everything would be same. But I'm talking about the experience perspective on the real implement perspective I'm talking about, right? so 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 what is my plan today? So you know what, one feature or one product, or even I say project, we start at building. So you know what we have done, we have created one menu project, right? And as soon as you run the menu, they give you a lot of options, right? What you want to achieve. For example, if you press 1, it will ask you, do you want to run date? And if you press 1, it will run the date program for you, and without knowing the command, they will do the things for you. Okay, so this part we have done, right? But technically in this menu, whatever option you pick, right, it will run your program without knowing the command. That is good. It means it is making our task simple. That is the need of the day, right? But whatever program they are running locally in the same system where the menu is running. But technically in the real world, it won't be the case. In the real world, right, the scenario that we normally use, just let me save the time and let me log in by the meantime. So in the real world, the scenario would be something like this. So if you're working in the company they have the lab, and the lab where the system is running are typically known as their data center, right? So there are lots of computer in the data center, and this is the system where you are sitting on your laptop. Okay, so this is the one system, this second system, and this is a third OS running, right? And these systems are running in the lab, and this lab is typically known as a data center in the company, right? And what your job is, you are working in this company or maybe you are creator of a project, right? I don't use the word creator here. Creator means they create something new, but you can say you are the developer of a project, right? And what you develop, you provide this project or the software to this guy. For example, this guy would be Eric. Okay, and ask Eric that this is a software and what this software do. As soon as you install the software, it provide you a menu, and when you run the menu, it will simplify your task. And but what Eric doesn't want to manage their laptop, because right now the menu that we have created, so this is the menu we have created, and when you run our menu, okay, for example, you can think this is the laptop of the Eric, and if you provide this software or this program to the Eric, okay, this program we have created to the Eric, and if Eric run this program, 1 minute, and if Eric run this program, right, it makes the life simple for this guy, but the only issue is when this run this program, it run on their local system. That's what that Eric doesn't want, right? Technically what Eric want, when they run the menu, before run the menu, right, Eric, the menu asks where they want to run the date program. They want to run the date program on IP1, they want to run the calendar command on IP2, they want to create the user on IP3, they where they would like to manage this, right? That this would be requirement. So technically the menu that we have created, it is working good, right? But locally, but I want my menu work both locally also and remote also. Okay, so as soon the menu run, they will ask both the options where you would like to run, and that would be the actual case. Normally, you know what happened in the company, there are a lot of systems and servers are running in the data center, and you normally you normally sit in your laptop inside your office, inside your cabin, right, in cubicle, and from there you're managing everything. Okay, and for managing, you again, you don't have to know all the commands, right? This menu will run the command behind the scene. You just press 1 2 and 3, something like this. So this is the real kind of project the company are using, or they may be looking for, right? So let us start developing this, right? So for this, that is the reason I launched one more operating system. You can think this system, this laptop are there in my data center in the lab. You can think in this way. So technically I have two different laptops. I have two different laptops, so let me create this diagram again. This is the first laptop, and this is the second laptop I have. And guys, understand one thing, nobody will guide you to create a project like this. Even though I'm not taking this project directly, right, I've gone through step by step. From the date command we have started this training. In Python we start with variable, and now we are moving to creating this kind of great project, right? By step I'm doing, right? And it's not only just learning, I'm just trying to trained you in such a way that that skills actually industry need, right? Even though lots of industry doesn't has a technical mind who know those kind of skills, right? Even though that level of skills I'm being training you, right? So none of the blogs or videos or YouTube, you will find this data. It's very critical, very important, but is for your career, guys, right? so so I have two laptops. So the second laptop I have having the IP 106. So this is having the IP 106, and the IP of my first one where the menu is is IP 162. I'll highly recommend whenever you do any practical of networking, always try to ping from one to other, because normally uh, sometimes we don't have internet connectivity, and we trying to do some other things, and we stuck, and we normally neglect, okay, the internet connectivity or network connectivity, right? So I suggest do the check always your network connectivity, and keep on doing this checking, right? So so this is one small thing. Okay, so what we want in IP1, in system 1, we have to create a menu, or we have to enhance the menu. So this is IP this one. So what we are doing, I'm going to enhance this menu, and in this menu, as soon as this menu give a welcome, right, what when before they show you the menu, we can ask to the user, okay, where you would like to you would where you would like to perform your job, whatever you would like. You can give your own language, right, locally or remotely, something like this, okay, and then colon, and after this I just put comma and remove the new line, right, so it will print. Okay, and whatever the user will print, I will take as an input, the same logic that we keep on using as input, and store in some variable, and always give every variable unique name, right? Ch we already given, so I can say this is location, right? So where you would like to use this, you can give any name, right? So either my user will give local or the remote, and just for testing, just for testing, I'm just printing the location variable value. So now what happened, guys, I enhanced my menu, and now if I run this menu asks where you would like to run your command, local or remote. So if I press local, they will print local and do the remaining things. But what we want, if the user press local, then we will run the local command. If user press remote, then we will run remote command, something like this, right? If again the condition would be you have your program should understand the conditions, right? If a condition is local, then run this code as it is. If the program is remote, then run the other program, right? So my point is here, okay. So I am asking my user, right, one minute, let me use vim. Vim give the proper colors. So I'm asking my user, right, where you would like to perform your task or your job, okay. And if my user say, right, the location is equals to local, okay, then what I would like to do, I would like to show this menu, exactly same menu, okay, same menu, because in this menu if we see, right, the program will be rise what date and the cal and this command, right, and whenever you run the date command, it always run locally. When you run the cal command, it always run locally, okay. So you know what I want, as soon as my program say local, okay, even though let's do one more thing, because the python code run line by line. First they run this command line, then they run this code, then they run this code, then they run this code. So what, let's do one thing, let's put here, okay. So after my user select the location, okay, then we'll showcase them this particular menu. And because initially they select the location local, or because if they select the local, so what I do, right, all this task from here, even though, let me remove this part also here, one minute, put here. So what I'm doing, understand one thing, guys, that is very simple what I'm doing actually, okay. As soon as you run the menu, you have the menu, right, you have this list. Now you you run this list either locally in your own system, you run this list remotely in other system, but list with the same. So what I'm doing, right, I remove this list and put outside the if loop, right, outside the outside the condition I put here. Okay, so first we ask about where you want to put local remote, then we present the menu, then we ask the choice. For example, this they say I would like to run the date 1, and before I run the date command, I will check your location local or remote. Why I check before running the command? Because if you want to run the date command locally, if you run the date command locally, right, you always run the date command. But if you want to run run the command remotely, the command won't be date, it will be other command, it will be command with ssh. Okay, so my point is, guys, here, right, whatever the user select initially as a location, right, where they would like to run sorry, where they like to run, right, before running the command I'm checking the condition. And because you know what, this is the main condition I'm checking, and if the condition true, then we would like to run this code. So this code would be inside this if. So this code would be the block of code of this if. So what we have to do, you have to indent this, because in other language normally we start with curly braces, but in Python we don't have to use curly braces. So all the block of code would be indent. So what you have to do, you to indent everything. Okay, so I normally use tab to indent, otherwise your choice. In last class I will discuss, guys, already about the indent. Okay, so the complete code you have to indent over here. Okay, it is something like this. Okay, so what I have done, okay, if somebody choose location local, then we will run this command. But if somebody choose anything else, okay, then we'll say, okay, location or option, or I can say location doesn't support, doesn't support. We can write in something like this. Okay, so very straightforward, guys, what we have done. Let me show you by practically, right. If I run this code here, and by chance if somebody say, okay, run in my data center 2, so this is one, none of the options we have given. So here they ask which option you want to play, but finally they give you option doesn't support. So at your wish where you have plug and this if or else. So finally, because I press I give the location here something DC123, then because I put the menu afterwards, so they show the menu, and then they check the location. This location is local, no, so they go to else. This location is matching this, yes, so they will support this, something like this. Okay, so it's a game of where you place your conditions, right. So for example, what I want, if I want as if I say something like this, as soon as I put something like this, they will show me here option doesn't support. So you have to write the if else in the top, right. It will be something like this. So we'll do also those things when we go for some code management. And if you want to do the code management, we have to use functions and the modules. So what a function module will come to, that makes our code more simpler to manage, right. So right now I'm doing everything without the functions and the modules. What a function module will discuss. But I think you understood our main thing. The intention for today is very straightforward. What we want, when the menu run, okay, they ask local or remote. If they say local, they will run local command. If they say remote, they will run this command in IP106. What is the IP you provide? It will be something like this, right. So for this, what we will do, here, right. So if somebody say local, so we will run the command whatever we have in the local. Let me test this part also. If somebody say local, they ask what command you want to run. I say one, they run the delete command, and they run the delete command locally. Okay, and how to confirm? You can compare your manual command. Just go and check is run locally only, right? But if you want, right, to run the command remotely, here it won't work because we haven't put any condition for remote. So what you have to do in the menu, you write one more condition here. And if you have multiple condition in the if, right, you guys know what you have to do, right? You have to write else if. Okay, so same code I'm writing here. If the location is local, then run this command, and if the location is remote, location is remote, okay, then we have to do this condition, and condition would be exactly same because the menu is same for both the guys, right? So what I'm doing right now, I'm copying all these lines from here till here. So I'm copying from here all this line, copy, and I'll paste here. Okay, it will seem okay. Just take care of indent part. Here the indent is no proper tab, so just give the proper tab here. So so now guys, point is, if I make it a little bit clear, okay, if location is local and if you press 1 they run the date command. But if the location is remote, and again the initial menu there you press the 1, again we run the date command, but this date command doesn't run locally. I would like to run this date command on IP address 106, this one. So I would like to run the date command from IP 162 on 106. And if you want to run any command or program on IP 106, we use a protocol called SSH that we have worked a lot already. Okay, so what you have to do, you have to use SSH here to run it. Okay, so let me show you this practical, this output, how it look like. So if you run the local one, it run properly, it show you local date. This is my local system date. Okay, but if you run this program and say remote, right, press 1, and now what happened this time, they go to remote system and run the date. And you guys know when you go to remote system via SSH, they always ask you your password. They ask you the password of the root account of IP 106, and if you give the password, it will run the date of that system. So that was the date of IP 106. So that's so simple, right? So only thing is creating this logic is so simple, right? If you see, we have done only if or else. But again, right, if you know the Python completely, but if you don't know SSS how it work, you won't able to create this kind of applications, right? So knowing some Linux concept, knowing some Python concept, we interrogate and come up with the new things. And similarly, if you want to run the cal command, so in the front of all the commands, you can use SSH. So SSH, again, your IP address and run the command. So here you can just go and replace with yum, with user add, everything. You can go and replace this thing over there. Okay, let's check this guy also. Okay, SSH IP 192.168.106. Okay, so what happen if anybody press 4, it will create the user, not in my system, it will create on IP 106, right? So let's test this. For example, in my system, I don't have a user called Tom1. I don't have in my local system, right? So what I'm doing, I'm running this program on remote system on IP address 106. Oh, sorry, I'm so sorry. I'm running this program on my remote system. What I would like to do in the remote system, I would like to create 4, means create a user. Which user I would like to create there? I would like to create a user called, for example, Tom1. Okay, there they're asking the password of that remote system via SSS. I just given, and from my system, the user Tom1 has created there. It's not created in my system. You can see here, it is not created in my system, right? But if you go to your other laptop and just go and check, Tom1 created there. Tom created here. Okay, so it is something like this. So my point is, guys, what you have done, you have made the life of this guy very simple, right? Simple. Why? Because this guy doesn't have to know the command. Okay, and easy. Why? Because initially this guy had to log in here and here and here, right, and run their commands, right, their commands there, and do the things. Now from one system with one single software, one single project, this guy is able to run everything in all the systems. This is the one thing. But right now the menu that we have created is little bit very static, means it's not dynamic. Means when you run this code, it will always run this code on IP 106. Run on 106 here. Why? Because IP 106 we had made, hard coded in our code. Means if you go to the code, we mention 106. So if we have a case but that you would like to manage only one system, you can hard code in this program. But technically technically what I want, as soon as and somebody run this code run this code, they ask the IP address. So what we'll do, we'll write here. Okay, we'll write here one one logic here, and logic is, if the location is remote. Okay, in this case I will ask you input, and input will be, tell me the remote IP where you would like to run. That's all. And understand one thing, guys, if you press local, the location is local, this condition doesn't match, and it won't it won't go to the next line. Sorry, it doesn't match, it won't ask you. But if location match with the remote, in this case only they ask you about the input, and this input is stored in this particular variable. One more thing, guys, because the input doesn't tell you which input they are looking for, so you have to first use print to print enter UIP. Or one more way we have, instead we print extra line for the input. In input also we have the options. Okay, in input also we can write enter your IP, so you don't have to use input print function before input, right? So it is your choice. You would like to print for example, let me explain you, those guys who are a little bit new in Python. Okay, so in input function, if you run, right, it won't ask you what amp you're looking for. Whatever you type, it is stored in X. But what I want, as soon as you run the input, it give you enter your name, for example. So what input will do, input first ask you this, they print this screen to you and then ask you your name, then it is stored in X, something like this. So you can use instead we use print again and again. It's a good practice don't to use print if you are printing because of the input, right? You can write directly inside the input. In my case, if my location is remote, then I will ask about your IP address. It is stored in this remote IP. Okay, we don't require else here, all right, because if you don't have else, it will work fine for us. So if the location is local, they go to the next line, and location remote, they will ask to the input, right? So let me check this thing. Okay, so if location is local, they go to the next line. But if your location is remote, it first asks you your IP address, and whatever IP you feed here, it is stored in a variable called remote IP. So now how we gonna use this remote IP variable? So instead we hard coded our IP again and again. We replace this IP, and guys, understand one thing, this is complete string, and inside the string, if you want to replace something with variable, that particular place you have to use this curly braces called placeholder. And after the string completed, you have to use dot format. Okay, understand one thing, guys, dot format is a function, right? And it is a function of the string. Don't think like this. We have run format inside the system function. So this is the string, and we are applying this function to this string. Sometimes this kind of function is also known as what do you say? Normally we say the one more word. I skip from my mind. Just a minute. Yeah, I'm so sorry. I skip my mind. One more word we use, but yeah, it is a one kind of function you can you can use here, right? So so technically this is a string, and wherever you have the string, right, you can use dot format to replace that particular value. And to whom you would like to replace this value, you replace with a remote IP. So remote IP is a variable, right? Is a variable. And where is this variable come from? This variable come from here, the remote IP. Okay, so this is one thing. And one more small thing, guys, Python is case sensitive. So here remote IP INP is capital, so you to write write in this thing in the capital uh, letter only. Similarly here also you can just go and replace. So technically I don't want my IP to be static, right? User can define where they would like to manage. So now little bit my program is little bit dynamic, right? Same here also, right? I just replace with this thing. But here in this case, guys, now little bit confusion we have in this string. We have two variables, this one and this one. So here we have to write two different variables, right? But position always matter. So here you would like to replace IP. So first you have to give the remote IP variable, then you create user variable. Okay, so whatever variable come first, it replaces with the first variable. Okay, whatever variable comes second, it replaces with second variable. That's what we want, because I want my username come here, I want my IP come here. So position always matter, and there will be no confusing. I always recommend use this number. So in the last class I explained you about the format, because they use tuple behind the scene. Okay, so this is the tuple actually in the format function. So this having position 0, this is having the position 1. So 0 replace here and 1 replace here. Even though here also I recommend, if you don't give, doesn't matter, but I recommend to make it very clear, always use the positioning parameter here. Okay. So there's the one small thing. So now my program is dynamic. Okay, means if you run this program, if I say create local, okay, what I would like to create the user, which user, for example pop 2, it created. Okay, and if you confirm, it create locally here only, but doesn't create in the remote system. But if you go to in the remote system, id pop 2 is not here, right? But if you want to create this user remotely, okay, so remote, here they ask me the IP address. So I'll just go and check IP address 106, and and here I just want to again do the same thing, username pop 4, it created because they created a remote system. So it created in the remote system. It not created here id pop 4, but if you go here, it create in IP in this particular system. Okay, so this is one small thing we can do. So likewise you can enhance one thing, but yeah, lots of things you can do and perform here, right? So I would like to give you one task, guys, right? So you know what task I would like to give you here is as soon as I do remote, okay, if I put one IP address here, right now this IP is not exist, or maybe it's not connected to me, this is not my system, by accidentally I have run this system, or maybe wrong IP I've given. So what happen, guys, it will go to all the steps, it will ask you username, it will ask you username, and finally they keep on checking, keep on doing SSS to the system, and finally it failed because this system is not mine, or maybe might not be exist. Okay, so what I want, whatever you are doing, whatever you are asking, right, always do a validation. or a checking. Check, does this IP exist or not? Check, are you connected or not? So as soon as I put the IP, you just check, are you connected or not? If you're not connected, there only they give the error that this IP is not reachable, this you are not connected, check your connectivity, check your this system, you are not, right? Otherwise, finally you might hang up or might not work properly. Okay, so maybe it's possible that your IP 106 is working right now. Okay, but might be your laptop 106 goes down. So for example, let me say let me shut down my 106 system. Okay, it was working fine. Same laptop you have, but here I'm asking for my username. But if you see guys, hang up because the system was goes off, or maybe you put the IP wrong. So what you have to do in this program, you to enhance your program. So somewhat here, as soon as you ask the IP. Okay, after ask the ISP, before you go to the next step, here just go and check this IP connectivity. And IP connectivity is good. IP connectivity is good. You can take forward. If it's not good, don't take to the next step. That's because it doesn't means to go to the next step, right? Just there only, there only. You know what? Ask them. You don't have a connectivity. Either retry after this time, or check. Ask them to check the new connection, or ask them to put the new IP again. So ask them to give IP one more time. So you have to write the code something here. So for this task, whatever you guys require as a knowledge, you have already. Okay, so whatever we learn already in our Linux classes or networking class, those knowledge will be enough, right, to solve this particular thing. So I recommend sorry I recommend to use that particular skills, okay, and enhance this project. Plus this project is not right now optimized, I say. Okay, lots of things is there. For example, I give the wrong location here they keep on asking my menu, it's not right. Okay, finally it fail, but initially I like they will fail there only in the top. Will enhance, right? Otherwise you also try. Okay, plus one more issue we have in this menu is in the menu is as soon as I write local here, ask menu, I press 1, they run the date command and that's all. But it's not good, right? Because technically who is using this menu, they're not only looking to run only one program. What they want, they keep on running multiple things by this menu. So what happen, right? Every time they run one thing like date, your program close. Again you just go to menu, run again local. Is it's very cumbersome, it's very tedious task to again do same thing again and again to run the second thing, calendar. Now if you want to create a user again, right, again run the menu. So I don't want this. So this again one more issue in this particular menu is you have to run this again and again. So in the tomorrow class we will enhance this particular issue. And even though we have one more issue, right, issue is when we run this menu, right, to the remote system, and we put some IP. For example, I'm going to put my own IP for just for showing something. My own IP is 162 on IP. And you know what, whenever you do remote thing, okay, they ask you a password again and again. Asking password is important, no doubt, because of security. But in the remote setup, you would want to if you would like to do 10 things, so 10 times they ask the password. So that is again not good thing, right? So I would like they ask the password, but because we are doing multiple things in IP 162 according to requirement, the first sometimes we do 2, then 4, then 1, then again 2, right? I don't want they ask the password again and again. Why? Because in the tomorrow class I would like to discuss some of the very core feature of one of the great technology of DevOps. Even though this training is not about DevOps, it's a long topic, big topic, is very highly recommended technology for a career and future. But in DevOps we have principle called automation, and for if you want to achieve the automation, right, your program will be unattended program. So what I mean by unattended, I will discuss with you in detail tomorrow, right? uh, Again with this particular example. So I don't want they ask me password again and again. I would like to run ask only once and keep on running for us. Okay, it would be something like this. So again, lots of issue we have in this particular menu. All right, but I suggest to understand all those issue very practically or clearly, uh, just complete this menu in this way. I'm not taking the next topic today. I just cover very small thing today only today. But I would like you to just use this menu, try to optimize by yourself, right? Then when I talk tomorrow about these issues, that's very critical to understand, right? You will come to know what industry need. But one more thing I would like everybody should do, it is again one homework for you. You have to do this part 3. So as soon as you press 3, your web server should configure both the side. If you press 3 locally, local web server created. If you press 3 remotely, a remote web server created. So as if you press 3, then this part will done. But you know guys, in the web server you have to perform 3 things, right? First install the software, then configure the file, put the web pages, or start the services. So I suggest everybody please do this task locally and remotely. So tomorrow when I explain you, right, some of the great features of the DevOps, even though this is not DevOps class, again repeating, but you will come to know lots of great logics about the DevOps for sure. If you do this task, right, you will sync with me tomorrow, right? So that's all guys for today. I'm not taking it further, right? And the today's next topic, but all those things that I ask you, I will cover tomorrow in single stretch in one class, little bit faster. But only challenge is, right, if you do and test those things, try by yourself, you will easily learn it, right? So tomorrow class again is very important to know those things. So I shared everything, the code with you, the tested code. So now what I'm doing, I'm opening my chat window. Any queries, any task, if you have, you can ask me. So I'm opening my chat window. Till here, any questions, any doubts, if you have, you can ask me. Today I'm making the lecture short, so you can practice this part a little bit more. So I have opened my chat window saying hi to everybody. How to change text color in the Python? Technically, Dhruv, you to understand one thing. Python is printing on the top of your terminal, so you have to change the terminal color. Okay, and for this Python has to contact terminal functions. So we use tput as a command. Even though Python you might find some program available, all right, but internally internally um, internally they will call tput for kind of functions only. Okay, it is something like this. Yes, Rohit. Rohit, we will discuss about Ansible, Kubernetes, OpenShift. I am this Saturday, due to some reason I haven't conduct the Docker class. In the Docker class, I'll give the idea about Kubernetes, OpenShift, and the Ansible. What my plan would be, we'll discuss for sure. My plan is in this week, like this kind of session, right? Regular, we will conduct the remaining class of the the Docker, right? If we can't connect to IPv6, Gunjan, we can connect to IPv6. By default, we have IP6 v6 connectivity. Again, I'm not discussing about the IPv6 right now, but if you see your network card, you already has IPv6 locally. This is the IPv6, and for this we have ping 6 command. SSS we have FNS6 option to do IPv6 connectivity. Okay, but I'm not taking this class right now. But yeah, if you go for RSCE level training, there we discuss IPv6 a lot. How do we know whether we have configured server or not? Yeah, so this is one more thing, Palak, you have to do right after you configure web server. Right now, you can just go manually and check it from by connecting to the client. But one more test we will do right after we configure web server, we can do one more validation, right? And that validation is in the menu we can use curl command, and the curl will contact to the web server and access the page. Okay, and page accessible, it means web server is configured perfectly. So this one test you can add in your program. So again, the next class I will discuss a little bit more about this kind of test. Again, this is not testing classes. Normally in like TDD, testing driven development, we do this kind of test cases we do, right? But we can add very easily, it's not big deal. Right now for testing you can test manually, but we can also do those things automated. For remote verbal receive, we can't use input in the networking class. So in the Python, we will do Python networking. So we have a different function for a remote, right? So I will discuss you about that variable, how we can give the remote input. So we have a different function for this in the socket programming. I will discuss to you. Yes, you have to export variable if you want to import there, right? Somebody asked me, so you have to export the uh, uh, display variable. How to get PDF of session, because many times we have got failed. PDF of session, RS Yadav, I have shared with you this doc of the Google, and everything whatever I am doing, I am putting on the doc. Just download the doc, or maybe convert the doc into PDF if you want. Okay. If you want to delete the user, you can use user del command with have an R to delete the user. So there is one detailed topic of user had future come up in the future, where I will discuss lots of things about user ad. Can we do SS from one city to another? Yes, uncle, you can do. But the logic is, I have explained you little bit in our Docker classes. I have explained you the public and private IP address. So if you have a public IP, or if you have a netting in your router, you can do those connectivity. So technically, there is no other command for this. Your router, you have to change some setting in your router. That's the point. Otherwise, the logic is same. You can use SSL and the IP of your remote system friend. They can do. How to get input from rel to Python and like number count. So same thing, Piyush, if you want to get the input, we can use OS system function, but OS system function doesn't give you proper input. So tomorrow I will give you one more function. So guys, OS system doesn't properly work in commands, a lot of scenarios. So tomorrow I will give you one module called sub process. Okay, so what are you asking? It will be done with the sub process. So I will explain you. Yes, this is very great question you ask. Past WD, it won't work properly. So if you remember, I have done one topic of standard input. So you have to use some logic of standard input to work whatever you're asking. So just one hint from my side, just try it by yourself. Otherwise, in the upcoming class, I give you the answer. So you have to use standard input concept to run past WD command in the Python. Just try by yourself then. Sir, please, some concern about Kickstart learning. Kickstart is a way, Vishal, to install your operating system automatically, right? So maybe in our program we don't have a Kickstart, right? But in the last days, if you get the time, I will definitely try to give you the idea, because for the Kickstart you have to set up Pixie, DSCP, lots of things, TFTP. to set up, right, to make the Kickstart workable, right. But Kickstart is a way to install your Linux system automatically, normally you using the networking without DVD or ISO file. Normally we use in this way. Firewall, yes, we'll discuss in upcoming class a little bit about the firewall, how we can manage, right. Sure, we will do. Ping and the curl is two different things. Ping normally help in the connectivity and they use ICMP protocol. Curl is normally used to curl access the web pages. Normally they work on HTTP protocol. Ali Ahmed, typically some hours of Docker class left. If I do on weekend, in the one weekend, like in Saturday or Sunday, it cover only one day. But if I do daily basis, it might take 3 or 4 days of 1 hour. So typically 4 or 5 hours of class is left. So 4 or 5 hour in totality is left. Nmap I already discussed you guys. So that's a high level idea I've given you about Nmaps, but it is a big tool. One big book of Nmap we have in the market. I also have. So depend what you want to do in Nmap. Again, I suggest to go to manual. It will help you. Weber, for the seat confirmation of the summer program or summer internship, I suggest to contact to Priti ma'am. She is the one who managing those things. So I suggest to for the seat confirmation of the summer intensive, contact to her. Yes, we can give multiple IP Python. They will also run in parallel. So for this, maybe in upcoming class, I will give you idea about multi-threading. That was one of the way we can use and connect multiple system in a go. Right. So that's all, guys. I think most of the question we have discussed over here. So see you tomorrow, and I highly encourage. um I think yeah, for some batches, principal Singh here, Prince Pal Singh here, we have last date today for the summer program. So contact to Preeti ma'am, which for which batch we have the last day, or for all the batches we have last day. I have no idea. So, but might be we might be have some last days going on, right. So just contact to her, right. So that's so, guys. I highly agree. The initiative that we have taken inside the IIEC, ask everybody join this program. They will learn a lot about their future career perspective. Ask them, those guys who missed the rest in that time, and so everybody also learn. Thank you very much, guys. See you tomorrow again, same time. We will do our main project part from tomorrow. Bye. See you. Good day and good night.